Back at you with another one. Arsenal 2, Newcastle United 0. And we almost took it to penalty shootouts if it wasn't for the brace of Emile Smith-Rowe and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to kickstart off our FA Cup defence with a victory, and we just about managed to pull that right in the end in extra time. So let's look at the match stats for today's game. As mentioned, goals by Emile Smith-Rowe and Aubameyang in the 109th minute and 117th minute respectively. In terms of shots, we had a total shots of 25 to their 12. We had 9 shots on target to their 2. We had 62% possession to Newcastle United 38. So as you can sort of see, there was one team going out for it and the other team maybe perhaps playing for penalties or trying to nick a goal with a set piece or maybe on a counter. Excuse me, but we managed to pull it off, but it just it wasn't really convincing, if I'm honest with you. And had it not been for the late subs, and again relying on the youngsters in Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka to come save us. Now let's get on to the lineup. So I did sort of mention that I would like to see Nelson play, and he did sort of play, but that was due to an unfortunate injury to Martinelli in the warm-up before the game. So hopefully he's fit and it's not a worrying signs. I think Arsenal have already put out a statement saying that it shouldn't be too much of a massive injury, just hopefully a strain. So whether he plays and features on Thursday night against Crystal Palace, we shall see. But I'd rather just sort of keep him, because after all he's coming back from injury. Let's not rush him and let's sort of see what happens with that, because as we sort of saw today, we don't want to get a key injury to a player like Martinelli. In terms of the other team lineup, I was very disappointed not to have seen Balogun on either the starting lineup or even on the bench. Now, come sort of during the week, Mikel Arteta has spoken about Balogun and his situation and about the whole contractual issue, and sort of saying that Balogun's happy, Arteta's happy, and Balogun wants to stay, but the only caveat is the agent and what he sort of wants. I don't really believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. I think Arteta's very great with his words. He is an absolute amazing PR merchant. As I've said plenty of times, if the managerial stuff doesn't work out for Arteta, he needs to go into marketing and sales, because he'd be amazing. I mean, surely, why couldn't he feature off the bench? We have sort of seen recently, and even today in the match itself, the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka came off the bench to save us. How don't we know Balogun could potentially sort of, do that as well? Hopefully, and I'm still hopeful that we can get him signed onto our contract. But if we don't, then let's be real, I don't blame the kid. He's not getting the game opportunity, and all the best to him. But in terms of the other starters, a surprise for me, or maybe not such a surprise, but it's looking quite frank that Arteta doesn't really fancy Runnison either. So what happens with that situation? Because as we've seen, Matt Macey has joined Hibs in the week, and that leaves us only with Leno and Runnison. And if he doesn't entrust Runnison to even feature in cup competitions, then what lies for Runnison in terms of the Arsenal team? Because usually what we sort of see in terms of the Arsenal team, we see the first team goalkeeper who starts for all the league games, and then we've got the secondary keeper who starts in domestic cup competition as well as sometimes European cup competitions. Obviously, once he gets to the latter stages, then the first choice keeper will start those games. So as I sort of said, I think that's a space to watch in terms of who we bring in that goalkeeping area, because I just have a feeling we're going to get cover, because Runnison just doesn't sort of make the mark, does he? Without sort of wasting any time, because I've got no further comments on the team lineup other than, as I mentioned, Martinelli's inclusion not being there because of the injury, and Balogun not even on the substitution bench. And also, interestingly, before I sort of move on to the player ratings, we didn't see Thomas Partey. Maybe we're sort of saving him. We did rush him out last time round, so maybe perhaps that's not wise to do so again. And I was disappointed, not just in terms of sort of Balogun. I would have liked to maybe have seen Miguel Aziz on the bench, but maybe it's because it was Newcastle United and a Premier League opposition, and Arteta thought the likes of Miguel Aziz is not ready yet. If we were drawn to, let's say, a lower league opposition, like let's say a team in League 2, would we have seen Balogun start? Would we have seen Miguel Aziz start? That's all questions that I've got in my head. I don't personally think so, but I'm not going to go out there and say no, it's not going to happen. But anyways, in terms of player ratings, Bernd Leno, he had nothing to do up until that moment where he pulled off 2 fantastic saves, and that second save in particular against Andy Carroll. Just for that, I'm going to have to give him an 8. He didn't do much, as I said, prior to that, but based on that amazing sort of moment. And sometimes the best goalkeepers in the world, or these world-class goalkeepers, they have nothing to do in the game, and then when the moment calls, they just react and pull off amazing saves. And that is usually a sign of a world-class goalkeeper. So Bernd Leno, as I said, he gets an 8 for that. Cedric didn't really do much for me. Some passes just was sort of behind the player when trying to play into players. In terms of linkage play, wasn't the greatest. Defensive play, I'd say average. So based on his average performance, he gets a average 5. David Luiz, in terms of passing out from the back, a few decent ball distributions, decent. Other than that, don't think he had much to do, if I'm honest with you. So I'm going to give him a 5 as well. Actually, I'll give him a 6. To be fair, Andy Carroll was sort of all over the pitch. He did as much work defending his penalty area than trying to attack our penalty area as well, especially in that first half when he was doing kung fu all over their penalty area. So David Luiz gets a 6 for me. Murray, I'm gonna give him maybe slightly a higher rating, and that's because there was 1 or 2 moments where he stepped out the line and read the ball. He read the situation well, and he got us out of danger. There was also that amazing ball he put out from the back to Nicolas Pepe, and where Pepe's tried to sort of cut past the player, and he took a shot which was brilliantly defended by the Newcastle United defender. So Marie gets a 7 for me. KT. What do I have to say about KT? It's a shame that we don't have a striker like Olivier Giroud, because with the crosses that KT puts into the box, Giroud will be having a field day with those, getting hat tricks each game. But we've not got a target man, but still he was very persistent, even towards to set Aubameyang and get that assist in the second half of extra time. What more do I have to say? I've been banging on for quite a while. This guy's heart, his desire. This guy is captain material. We need to make him captain ASAP. For me, man of the match performance. I know BBC gave it to Emile Smith-Rowe, but that was prior to the second goal, and I think, you know, if they had sort of saw the assist, they would have awarded the man of the match award to Kieran Tierney. So for me, KT, easy man of the match. He gets a 9 for me. Moving on to midfield area, Mohamed Elneny. Yeah, he just sort of does what he does. He makes safe passes, which I dislike at times. Yes, sometimes it's great, but at times there was a few moments in particular in the first half, where KT was on the left wing and he could have spread the ball through the Newcastle United defence and feed it to KT, but he opted for the safer pass right into Willian or into Willock, who was closer to him. So I'm going to give him a 5. He wasn't really bad, but he wasn't the greatest either. He did put one good through ball to Aubameyang, where Aubameyang hit the ball from a tight angle and it just sort of went past their goal. So Mohamed Elneny gets a 5 for me. Joe Willock, if I'm honest with you, what did Joe Willock do? At times I just sort of failed to remember that he was actually playing, or he was even in the game. So Joe Willock, yeah, he gets a 5 for me. There was that great ball by Nicolas Pepe into the penalty box, and Joe Willock latched onto the header, but he scruffed it and it hit the ground first, and then the keeper had an easy save. Yeah, he's just not gonna make it, and I've been saying this for quite a while. You see the difference. You see Willock, and then you see Emil Smith-Rowe, and Emil Smith-Rowe is younger, but he's so much better. Joe Willock, he gets a 5 for me as well. Willian, and I know a lot of people gonna go out there and make him a scapegoat. I myself, yeah, I'm at fault for it plenty of times, and I will go on. But one sympathy I have for Willian, and I sort of saw during the game, was you can tell this man is a man low on confidence. You saw that shot where he just hit it over the stadium, and you just sort of said to yourself, Willian, I get it, you're low on confidence, but what is it you want? Do you really want to be here and want to succeed? Because I'm sorry, if you came to Arsenal Football Club as just a convenient way to maintain your lifestyle, to continue running your business or your restaurant in London, whilst having your kids and family here as you enjoy it, then it's not going to work. You have to understand, this is Arsenal Football Club, and the fans will get on your back. So when you're sort of walking around and you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're out of form, you need to sit there and ask yourself this question: do you want to make things work? If you do, then show it. Put 100% into it and try and make things happen. And I get it, you're not on form, but if you genuinely came here just to maintain your lavish lifestyle, then William, I'm sorry, you're going to get bullied, yeah, you'll be harassed. In terms of social media, you're going to have Arsenal fans hounding you, and when the fans are back on the pitch, you will make sure, we will make sure you are the scapegoat. So it's up to you, William. What is it you want to do? Either show it, or there are talks about Real Betis who are wanting you. Then just sort of say to Arteta, you know what? I can't hack the pressure. This is not for me. I'm off to Real Betis. Fair play. I respect him for that. But for us to be sat here and our club paying 220k a week to this guy, that's just very, very poor business. But in terms of today's game, he just didn't really do much. He wasn't so bad when he was playing here. Later on in the game, when he was pushed out to the wide, he looked so bad, and there was moments where him and Kieran Tierney weren't seen eye to eye. So Willian, he gets a 5 for me. He gets a 5. I can go out and be harsh and say 4, but based on when he was sort of playing in the midfield area, I give him a 5. But if I was to judge his performance when he went out on the wing, it would have to be sort of 2-3. Very poor. But overall the game, as I said, 5. Moving on to the wingers, Nelson. Now I often hear Arsenal fans continuously slate Nicolas Pepe, and they always sort of mention how Reiss Nelson should be given the opportunity instead. Today's game showed exactly why Nicolas Pepe is above Reiss Nelson. Yes, Nelson's not such a bad player, but let's be honest, he's not Nicolas Pepe. He can't influence the game. So for me, Nelson, he gets a 5 as well. He just didn't do much. Every time he tried to take on a guy, either he failed or he got fouled, and there was moments when he could have taken a shot first time round. He took an extra touch and then got tackled. And in terms of crossing, very poor. Yeah, Reiss Nelson, I just don't think. The more I see of Reiss Nelson, the more I remember why I feel as if he's not going to make it at Arsenal. I mean, I'm not going to be saying that just yet. The jury's still out. I still need to see more of him. But from what I've seen so far, I just don't think he'll make it at the club. Moving on to the other wing. Nicolas Pepe. The guy frustrates me because he has moments of brilliance. Goes past a guy, forms magic. And then he just does something so stupid. Just, it's like that one moment where he went past 2 players and then he scruffed the shot and he just went past the post when he could have fed that through Aubameyang. It's moments like that, Nicolas Pepe, or where there was that point where he sort of dribbled. He could have he saw the Newcastle United defender right next to him. Why take the shot, Pepe? You should have maybe. That's when, you know, he should have taken an extra touch. And usually I'm trying to tell Pepe to pull the trigger, but that's the point, and that's my frustration. Pepe doesn't know when to pull the trigger or when to take the extra touch. When he should be pulling the trigger, he takes an extra touch, and when he should be taking extra touch, he pulls the trigger. And he just sits there and you're so frustrated because you can see the talent. And what I think it is that Pepe needs brilliant coaching, and I think if he has that, he can be something special. And likewise with Willian, and as I mentioned on the previous video on Aubameyang, it's really and truly up to Pepe in terms of what he wants to do and how far he wants to go. But if he's going to sort of continue to sort of feel sorry for himself, he's not going to make it either. It's just so frustrating because I can see the talent and it's just been wasted. So based on his performance, I'm going to have to give him a 6. Moving on to Aubameyang. Like what I sort of said about Willock, there are times in a game and recently that you just sit there and you think, is Aubameyang even playing? Wow, oh there he is. And then he, you know, takes that shot, and I think that gave him that confidence where Dubravka made a decent save. And then later on in the second half of extra time, once he got that goal, I'm hoping, yeah, that's now the catalyst that's going to take him and push him forward. And then Aubameyang, we're going to sort of see the last season's Aubameyang come back again. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that's done him the confidence so he can push on. So, but in terms of today's game, I'm going to have to give him a 6. Yes, he scored, but other than the goal, he was very ineffective. In terms of the substitutions, we're going to have to start off with the guy who unlocked the game itself, and that's Emile Smith-Rowe. So Smith-Rowe, I just think he just has shown why we've needed a player like that. We've seen Willock deployed in at number 10 a few times this season. It's not worked. We saw Willian, a 32-year-old, yeah, experienced player who's won it all at Chelsea, deployed there, didn't look effective. Emile Smith-Rowe comes on, changes the game like that. And it's not a coincidence, since he's been embedded into the team, that we've been on this winning streak. And this is why I hope, yeah, surely, and I was hoping that it would have woken up Arteta to entrust youth more. Start playing the likes of Balogun more, you know, because you've seen it work with Emile Smith-Rowe. And I was quite gutted that Saliba wasn't part of that list. But he's out now in Nice, so hopefully when he comes back, and the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe and, you know, guys like Aziz coming through the academy in future, they are provided more opportunities. Because I think he's changed so much in such a little short amount of space. For me, he gets an 8 in terms of today's game. I thought he's done really well, been very effective in the little time he's had. Moving on to Bukayo Saka, he looked good. He came on, he had that decent shot, and it was a very powerful shot, but it just went over the bar. And every time he sort of came on, he looked like he was running at defenders, and you can sort of see the players that came on during that second half, him, Xhaka, Saka, they were continuously playing forward rather than playing sort of sideways when the likes of Willock was there, when the like of El Nene was playing on the pitch. So I thought they brought new life to the game, and Saka, he gets a 7 for me. Granit Xhaka, I thought he played well, and he provided that pre-assist pass to Kieran Tierney to thread the ball to Aubameyang for his goal. And Granit Xhaka, you see, this is, yeah, Granit Xhaka, I've always said he's got good technical skills. I just feel as if he's a bit inconsistent, and the league is a bit, well, the Premier League is too fast for him. I've always said, you get a player like Granit Xhaka, send him to Syria or somewhere like that, he will look fantastic. So it's up to him to maintain that consistency, and I'm hoping that, you know, now that he's played like that, watch, and me knowing Granit Xhaka, yeah, he's gonna play absolutely bad, dreadful come Thursday against Crystal Palace. But why can't you sort of maintain that consistency? you know, the jury's still out. But from what I know from Granit Xhaka, he's going to go back to, you know, flop Xhaka again on Thursday. But in terms of today's game, he played brilliantly, and I'm going to have to give him a 7. And lastly, there was Ainsley. I'm just going to give him a straight 5 because he didn't have much to do really. Lacazette, and I thought he played a very pivotal role to Emile Smith-Rowe's goal. He got that little head on, which got the ball to the assist to Smith-Rowe, and that looked like a lost cause. But because he fought for it, and that's what Lacazette has done really well recently. His linkage of play. It was a brilliant ball by Saka into Laka. Laka gets a head on it. Smith-Rowe gets into the feet and gets the goal. You know, and I just quite like the way Lacazette has been sort of forming partnership with the youngsters, and we don't really sort of see that with Aubameyang. I did sort of say that goal will get Aubameyang's confidence up, but it will be very interesting to sort of see what Mikel Arteta does on Thursday, because if you don't play Aubameyang, then the danger is that his confidence level drops again. Whereas you can't afford not to play Lacazette, because he's been in fine form, and in terms of his link play with the youngsters, it's been brilliant. So I'm glad I'm not in Mikel Arteta's position and making those decisions. But that's my match preview, and thank you for reviewing. As always, please like and subscribe. All the best. Take care.